Table 2 shows some data about the elements bromine and magnesium. Now, bromine is a non-metal of group 7 and magnesium is a metal of group 2. Bromine has a low melting point and boiling point, whereas magnesium has a high melting point and boiling point, which is obvious because magnesium is a metal. In terms of the structure and bonding, explain why boiling point of bromine is different from that of magnesium. Suggest why magnesium is a liquid over a much greater temperature range compared to that of bromine. So when it comes to their structures, let's look into what kind of structure they have. Bromine is a diatomic element. So between two bromine molecules, there will be weak van der Waals force of attraction or London dispersion forces. Whereas magnesium is a metal, so the magnesium metal would have two delocalized electrons because it is a group 2 metal, and the two delocalized electron would have an electrostatic force of attraction with the magnesium ion. So the answer we can give in this way. Bromine is simple molecular, whereas magnesium is metallic, consisting of positive ions in a sea of delocalized electrons. Then we can say bromine has weak van der Waals forces between the molecules. So more energy is needed to overcome the stronger forces in metallic bonds. Magnesium has a much greater liquid range because the forces of attraction in molten metal are stronger in comparison to that of the bromine. Figure 2 represents two glass flasks, P and Q, connected via tap. Flask Q volume, we can see it has a volume of 1000 cm cube and it is filled with ammonia at a pressure of 102 kilopascal and it is at 300 Kelvin temperature. The tap is closed and there is a vacuum in flux P. So let's label the things. We have a vacuum here and flux Q has a volume of 1000 cm cube or 1 dm cube. The pressure inside here is 102 kilopascal and the temperature here is 300 Kelvin. The tap is closed, there is a vacuum and the gas constant is given 8.31 joule per Kelvin per mole. Now the question says calculate the mass of ammonia in flask Q. Give your answer to the appropriate number of significant figures. So the first part of the question is asking us the mass of ammonia. To do the mass of ammonia, we will first of all need to find out the number of moles. So we'll use the formula PV equals to nRT. Since we need the number of moles, so N is equals to PV over RT. Now, the pressure is mentioned 102 kilopascal, which needs to be written in Pascal. So, 102 times 10 to the power of 3. The volume is given in cm cube, which is 1000 cm cube. 1000 cm cube means 10 to the power of 3, but then 1 cm cube, when it is converted into meter cube, has to be divided by 1 million. So, it will be 1 times 10 to the power of minus 6. So, 10 to the power of 3 for the cm cube, which is the volume. So, we can convert it into meter cube by multiplying with 10 to the power of minus 6. So, 1000 times 10 to the power of minus 6. So, 1000 is written as 10 cube here and then multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 6 to get it converted into meter cube. Once converted into meter cube, we will divide by the gas constant R, which is 8.31 joule per Kelvin per mole, and the temperature provided is 300 Kelvin. So we will put those inputs. And the number of moles comes out to be 4.091456 times 10 to the power minus 2 moles. Now we know that MR of NH3 is 17. Mass is equals to number of mole multiplied by MR. So number of mole 4.091456 times 10 to the power minus 2 times 17 gives us a mass of 0.696 to 3 significant figure. When the tap is opened, ammonia passes to flask P. The temperature decreases by 5 degrees Celsius. So previously the temperature was 300 Kelvin and now it decreases by 5 degrees Celsius. So final temperature will be 295 Kelvin. The final pressure in both flasks is 75 kPa. So we don't know the new volume. However, we know the new pressure, and the pressure is 75 kPa. The volume is what we have to find out. Remember, when we will find out the volume, we'll find out total volume. So let's make an effort. The formula goes PV equals to nRT. Since now we know the number of mole, gas constant, and the temperature, and we only need the volume because we also know the pressure, so it will be nRT divided by P. Number of moles 4.091456 times 10 to the power of minus 2 times gas constant 8.31 times temperature. The new temperature is 295 Kelvin over the pressure, which is 75,000. Kilopascal to Pascal will be multiplied by 1000. Once we put in the values, we'll get the answer in meter cube. Remember, the unit that you're going to get for this is meter cube, not cm cube. It will be meter cube. So we get the value 1.34 times 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube. Now our next thing conversion would be, we need the volume in cm cube. So total volume in cm cube would be when we will multiply it by 1 million. So this gives us a final volume of 1340 cm cube. Now if we look back, the total volume is 1340. Out of that, the flux Q had a volume of 1000 cm cube. So flask P would have a volume of 1340 minus 1000, which will be equals to 340. So flask P has a volume of 340 cm cube. Question 6. Explain how ions are accelerated, detected, and have their abundance determined in a time of flight mass spectrometer. In a time of flight mass spectrometer, ions are attracted by accelerating to a negatively charged plate. The ions are then detected by gaining electrons. The abundance are determined by the size of the current that flows and the amount of the electron that is gained in the detector. Calculate the mass in kgs in a single chromium plus 52 ion. Assume that the mass of chromium plus 52 ion is the same as that of chromium 52 atom. In a calculation like this one, first of all, we will consider the chromium in 1 mole. So chromium in 1 mole has a mass of 52 grams. So to find out the mass in kg, what we are going to do is we will first divide the 52 gram by 1000. When we divide it by 1000, then we get the mass of 1k. We get the mass of the grams converted into kgs. Then we will further divide it by the Avogadro constant to find out the mass of one atom of chromium 52 plus charge ion. And this will give us a mass of 8.64 times 10 to the power of minus 26 kgs. In a TOF mass spectrometer, the kinetic energy of a plus 52 ion was 1.269 times 10 to the power minus 13 joules. Calculate the velocity of the ion using the equation kinetic energy is equals to half mv square. Since kinetic energy is equals to half mv square, so let's put the kinetic energy in the place of Ke, and then we will use the formula half. In the place of m, we can put the value of mass. Then we can substitute the value. Then we can place the v square here. Once the calculation of left side and right side is done, we can then in the next step do 2 times 1.269 times 10 to the power of minus 13, which is equals to 8.64 times 10 to the power of minus 26 times v square. Then v squared is equals to 2 times 1.269 times 10 to the power of minus 13 over 8.64 times 10 to the power of minus 26. We'll bring the v square from that side to this side, and then it will become root over. So v is equals to root over that whole value. Now we can just simply put it in the calculator to get the final answer, which gives us a total of 1.71 times 10 to the power of 6 meters per second. Bromine has two isotopes, the bromine 79 and the bromine 81. In approximately equal abundance, in a TOF mass spectrometer, bromine forms ions with the formula Br2 plus. Sketch the pattern of the peaks you would expect to see in the mass spectrum of the sample of bromine. Now we need to understand that since the bromine is Br2 plus, so there are two bromines. And this gives us four different combinations to have. And the reason why we will have four different combinations mainly due to the charge and the isotope that they have. So for example, the lowest of the mass would be 79 and 79, and one of the 79 would be positive. Then there would be 79 and 81, where the 81 would be positive, and then there can be 81 and 79, where the 79 bromine would be the positive one. And then there would be 81 and 81, where one of the 81 would be positive. As you can see, this gives us four different combinations. With the four different combinations, we would have a ratio. Now, since each of the bromine is present of equal abundance according to them, so even though they are not exactly equal, at least they have mentioned us here equal. So this gives us a chance of 0.5 with this other 79 bromine of 0.5. So bromine 79 and 79 would have a mass of 158. So the mass of 158 has a chance of 0.5 times 0.5 in ratio with the mass of 160, which would have a chance of 0.5 times 0.5, as you can see. But then the 0.5 times 0.5 would get multiplied by 2 because they are happening twice. So that would get multiplied by 2. And then finally, we would have bromine 8181, which is given as mass of 162. All right. And 162 with a chance of 0.5 times 0.5. This gives us a final ratio of 1 to 2 to 1. So since the final ratio is 1 to 2 to 1 for them, that's why we can conclude that with bromine 158, we would have 25%. So the bar would be 25% with 158. The bar would be up to 150, 160 would be up to 50%. And the bar of 162 would be at 25% as well. A sample of xenon AR 131.31, the sample consists of four isotopes. The abundance of the three of the isotopes are shown in table 3. The data for one of the isotopes for the mass of Xe is missing. One of the isotope, we need to calculate this one. Now, we already have the average mass, which is 131.1. To calculate its abundance, we would start the working in the following manner. First of all, since the goal is to calculate average relative atomic mass of Xe, and that gives us each one of those masses, 129 multiplied by their abundance, which is 28, plus 131 multiplied by its abundance, then 132 multiplied by the abundance 27, and then the mass of M, which we need to calculate, and we don't have the value of, all right, and its abundance. Since we do not need the mass of M, we need the mass of M later to be calculated, but we can always calculate its abundance by the given data, which is already here. So Xem time its abundance. So let's find out the abundance. Since all of this adds up to 28 plus 25 plus 27 gives us a value of 80. That means the percentage for this Xem will be 20%. So let's just make an effort to write it down separately, because that will be a marking point which we can score. So Xem 100 minus 80, which is equals to 20%. So Xem has a abundance of 20. Then since the whole total abundance is equals to 100, we'll divide the whole thing by 100. And the average mass of Xe is already given, which is 131.31. So we'll replace the value of AR of Xe, which is 131.31, and then We will continue with the remainder of the maths, which gives us an approximate value after calculation. So after cross multiplication, we get this particular value, and then after the full calculation, the value is going to be 134. So the MR of XEM is 134.